Are high interest rates keeping you from buying a home in today's market? On this video, I'm going to show you how to save $1,000 or more per month on your mortgage. And if you're a seller, pay attention because this video can help you as well. If the high interest rates are keeping you from buying a home, it's not surprising and it's happening in a lot of buyers. So the thing to know is you're not alone. It's happening a lot. Take a look at this slide right here, and it shows you what a payment is now. Let's look at $1 million home with a 20% down payment. At current interest rates at about 6.5%, that's a monthly payment of over $5,000. And if you're a buyer that was looking for homes earlier in the year, let's think about Q1 of 2022 with 3.5 to 4% interest rates. That column on the far right there shows you what that would have looked like back in that time when it was closer to a 4% interest rate. Your payment's only $3,800, so over $1,200 higher today for that same home. So it's no surprise that buyers these days are looking at lower priced homes or thinking about waiting because that same home is now going to cost them $1,200 more per month just because interest rates are higher. So what can we do about that? Well, a lot of buyers are simply saying, well, we can only afford $800,000 now, or make an $800,000 offer on that $1 million home, which a lot of times isn't going to work. But let's look at the numbers. That's what keeps us with a similar payment, $800,000 loan with 20% down at the current 6.5 or so interest rate. It's a similar payment. It's a little bit higher, but it's a similar payment that we were thinking about in Q1 of 2022 on a 4% interest rate at $1 million purchase price and $800,000 loan. So we can see the difference in how much is being affected by the interest rates. So what are our options? Well, the thing on this video we're talking about is a 2-1 buy down, and it's a little bit different than the rate buy down you may have heard about in the past. Buying an interest rate down is nothing new, but in history, we've typically bought an interest rate down a very small percentage, and it's for the life of the loan. But we're talking about buying a quarter or an eighth of a point, a quarter point for the life of the loan, whereas getting from 6 down to 6.25 or even down to 6% is not real appealing to buyers today. But getting it down a full point or two, now we're getting somewhere, and that brings us to the 2-1 buy down. And that's the difference, is you're buying down the rate, albeit this is temporary. You're buying it down in this situation for 2 years, but that first year you're buying it down all the way 2 points. So instead of being at 6.5%, you go all the way down to 4.5%. And then it go up to 5.5 year 2 before in year 3, it goes up to 6.5%. And the goal would be to refinance before that happened. But let's take a look here on this slide of what that difference means. It's now we're talking about $1 million purchase with an $800,000 loan at 4.5%, and we're bringing that payment all the way back down to $4,000, just a little over $4,000. So you're saving about $1,000 a month over current interest rates in the same offer. So it allows buyers to ease into their mortgage, get down to that payment that they were looking at back in Q1, or that they'd be looking at keeping that same payment on a much lower priced home. So it gives you a chance to still get into that home if you really need to move or want to move, don't want to miss out on a house, but those interest rates are stopping you from because of that higher payment. This is a good option that gets you into the house with a lower payment for the first couple years, with the idea that you're going to refinance in the next couple years. Now, that's why it's good for sellers. We'll take a look at this chart right here. Do you want a lowball offer that's maybe $200,000 less than your list price because that's what that same buyer can now afford with that payment? Or in this case, a seller credit to give the buyer that buy down. Now the buyer can buy it at your full price. Their payment is the same as what they were thinking about being at back in Q1, or with a much lower offer. And in this case, the credit is only about a little over $18,000. So a much better place to be than a really low ball offer. So it's actually a win-win for both buyers and sellers in this market with these interest rates where they're at. So if you're thinking about buying, this could be a good option for you. And if you're a seller or been holding off on selling because the buyers aren't as many buyers out there, this could be an option for you, or something to think about if you end up getting a low ball offer from a buyer, that this could be a way to negotiate with them to try to meet at a price that would be happy for both parties. So if you have any questions about this, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions about a 2-1 buy down or some other programs that might help you in your situation, reach out. We'll see you on the next video.